Hello, beautiful spirit. Shakima here. I just wanted to stop in and finish up my series for this Pisces new moon. I'm on to the air tribe. For some reason, that's the one that keeps sticking out to me. I know after, the fire tribe season, we are going to go into earth tribe season, but for some reason, air tribe's what's calling through for this reading in this space. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. Obviously, these will be generalized readings for the energies of the Pisces new moon that just went on the 6th of March. We're still sort of working with the energy for at least the next, the next 21, 22 days. So it'd be good to see what the energies are going to be bringing forth for us continuously. Obviously, I haven't done, like I said, air tribe and earth tribe, so I'm just stopping in to get you guys' reading done. Just so I can give you guys some clarity, these will be generalized readings for the sun, moon, and rising of the air tribe. And if you guys do like my technique, then definitely be sure to comment, like, share, and subscribe. And definitely hit the notification bell for, insights and to stay in tune with, these lives so that you guys can get your guidance. Okay, these will be obviously weekly readings as I settle more into the space because I know that consistency hasn't been the best thing for me. I'm a sun sign Pisces, so I'm working with trying to get a little bit more consistent. So bear with me, guys. I shall be taking several sips of my tea throughout the process. But if you guys do want to connect with me on a personal level, if you guys would like a personal reading, then definitely be sure to check out my website. I will be adding the details in the description box. That's www.shakimabrown.com. And you guys will be able to obviously have a look through and select what you need. Okay. Um, I'm just trying to get these done today so that I can go into the next readings tomorrow so that I can bang those out for you guys and get that done. Those readings will actually be for the month of March, just sort of seeing what's to come for the month of March for all four of the different tribes, like what's going to be happening as this Mercury retrograde season continues to unfold. Personally, for me, it's brought a lot of clarity, so I hope that is bringing, the same sort of insights for everyone else. I think it's a little bit easier with us being aware. It gives us the opportunity to, stay in control of the things that feel like they are becoming disrupted because Uranus is also making movements in Taurus, so it is breaking down a lot of our foundational structures of things. So just be mindful of all of these aspects astrologically because as above, so below. Okay. I'm just going to set the space for us, and I'll be doing a Celtic spread for all four of the. Well, I'll be doing a Celtic spread for the Air Tribe, aka Team Ravenclaw. Okay, because I'm going to be following up with a Harry Potter theme for the entire, process of this. That will be my thing for you guys. Okay, so you guys can sort of see the interconnectivity with these stories of ours as they play out. Okay, pop culture is actually our culture fed back to us to desensitize us through, programming directly tapped into the matrix. And my whole purpose of doing these is to give us an opportunity to, wake up, decide to take the blue pill or the red pill, and actually consciously navigate through the process of our evolution. Okay. So once I do the Celtic spread for my air tribe, just to see what's going to be happening with this new moon, I'm also going to be pulling some energy cards for each of the different zodiacs within the air tribe. So that will be Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Okay, I'll be pulling some energy cards. I'll also be pulling a message from the universe once I do the Celtic spread, just to give us some insights. I'll also maybe use some angel cards to clarify anything that I need more insight into. And to close out the space, we'll just be closing out with a love and light card just to give us a final guidance in terms of scripture to assist us in the process of the unfolding of this Pisces new moon. Okay, now I can breathe, guys. I'm just going to, like I said, set the space and get to it. Mm. Shall be taking several sips of my tea, as I mentioned, to help with the projecting process, because sometimes my throat chakra sometimes becomes a little bit closed off. It's almost like my muscles become tense, and I have to just make sure that I'm able to project for you guys as I go through the channeling process to give you guys these intuitive messages. Okay, so I ask that only beings of the highest and purest of vibrations are present to provide me with the guidance and insight needed and required to be able to relay the guidance and messages for all those that are divinely guided to receive this. It is done. Ashe. Now, guys, this is a generalized reading, as I mentioned. So if it does not resonate, let it dissipate. Don't take it personally. Okay. I generally try and stay away from the whole fortune telling aspect of things, like a market yard. This is for this person, that's for that person. My whole purpose is to just give you guys an indication of the energies that I see, so that you can, I guess, actively navigate with these energies to utilize them for the process of your growth. Okay. So we are going to go straight into it, guys. I'm going to try and keep it short and sweet for you guys. No promises, because I know what I'm like. I talk a lot. And also, I just allow for spirit to use me. So sometimes the channeling may go on for a minute. Okay, so what is the divine guidance for my air tribe spirit? Where are they and what crosses them? Let's have a little look. There is going to be a sudden change. Okay. This doesn't surprise me with the whole, changes with Uranus being a factor with this Mercury retrograde, and this new moon falling just after Mercury's gone retrograde. So I'm going to say this, there's going to be a lot of changes for you that will feel like it's unstable. You will get some revelations throughout the process. They may be personal revelations that you'll see, or it may be you finally being able to see revelations within relationships and how people are showing up in your experiences of them, or how you're actually showing up in your experiences of people, and you'll be able to get more of an indication of the patterns that have been formulated within your subconscious mind that is creating those kinds of experiences for you. Yeah. This change that's happening has been very much a contemplated change. This is something that you've been wanting to do for a while. This is something that you've been feeling within yourself is going to bring you some emotional clarity and some emotional control over the circumstances around you. So that's really what's happening. You're actually contemplating how to stay still as shit kind of gets eruptive around you, as things kind of break down. You're just, I guess, contemplating how to stay focused on what it is that you need to be doing in these moments, focused on who you are despite everything that's going on that's trying to trigger your emotional imbalances, and really trying to make sure that any generosity that you receive, that it's reciprocated regardless of any of the other negative aspects of things that are going on around you. Yeah, there will be some levels of trying to make sure that you utilize the discernment of your God within, because there will be broken promises that you will be, I guess, acknowledging, and you'll have to really sort of, I guess, have the courage to have faith with that situation, and let faith be the guide for how you actually progress with the circumstances there, progress with the individual or individuals. I'm seeing that this may be romantic situations as well as family circumstances that you guys are dealing with as well. So just keep the faith is what I say to you. As these changes happen, know that it is going to be for your overall best good at the end of the day. But it may not be directly something that you're like, I'm happy with the entire process all the way. Okay. So I'm just going to do a proper spread for you guys so that we can see more of what's to come. There's been some breakdown in communication within the home situations as well, which are some of the things that you're going to be addressing with this Pisces new moon. And that's actually going to be sort of bringing some changes into the situation. So that breakdown of communication, it's going to give you guys an opportunity to come together to, I guess, harmonize. And for a lot of you guys, this does mean celebrations within your home. For a lot of you guys in relationships as well, this does mean some sort of commitment. This does mean that you will be sort of, I guess, working towards that marriage situation and circumstances. For those of you that are already in a situation where you're married as well, this does give you the opportunity to recommit to that situation despite the recent breakdown that you guys had in communication. And I can see that the breakdown had a lot to do with dishonesty, and it did cause a lot of disappointments for a lot of people. But what I will say is that, if anything, this Mercury retrograde is really giving you guys the opportunity, as well as the Pisces new moon, because it's bringing a lot of stuff up to surface, where you're having to be completely honest with yourself. Now that you're having to take a step back, because that's what the Mercury retrograde was all about, right? You can take a step back and really process what has been going on and decide if you're going to fully commit to a situation or if you're going to tap out. But it does seem like for a lot of you guys, this is going to give you an opportunity to recommit to the situation, and really build more of a structure within the community going forward. Yeah, it really does give you guys the opportunity to avoid any sort of disasters with the situation. And for a lot of you guys, it's you don't want to move forward. It's not a case of moving on to someone new. It's a case of learning how to be grateful for what you have and really learning how to be self-sufficient in the process, so you're not putting too much on the other person in your partnerships. And in terms of your family ships, I do see as well that it's really a case of you really deciding where you want to place your chips, how are you going to invest in these relationships. And it's not just about what you get back in return, but making sure that there's a complete balance with the situation, to the point where you're not giving too much out, where you're completely burnt out. Yeah, just so that you can really find the, I guess, the care to be in control of what's going on around you. Find the care to be in control of how you're able to manifest these relationships, I guess. There's definitely going to have to be some faith again, with circumstances that haven't necessarily completely closed out. Just know that it is for the overall best in the long run as it kind of unfolds, okay? Where are my air tribe and what crosses them for this Pisces new moon? Okay, so you guys are at the point where you're avoiding any disasters. You're avoiding any conflict in terms of the way that you're doing things, and you're making sure that you're a little bit more focused on your goals. So for those of you that were emotionally insecure, for those of you that were like really quite moody at times, you're avoiding the disasters that comes along with that. You're making sure that you're no longer at a place where that conflict is going to get the best of you. You're no longer at a place where you're allowing for what is within you erupting to affect your relationships externally. And that's a really great place to be for this Pisces new moon as well. I can see that it was partially because you were really inflexible with what was happening around you. And there was some selfishness, be this from you or the other person. It almost felt like you were telling your story from a one-sided perspective, where everything was all about how you were being abused by certain situations. You weren't necessarily being completely honest about how you may have played the villain in other people's stories as well, to really actually have the universe play these types of roles back to you, just so that you can sort of see how your decisions then impacted the people that you hurt along the way. Because I think sometimes we have situations where we make stupid decisions and then we rise up, and then because we rise up, we assume that the worst is behind us. But to be fair, the worst is ahead, because we still have to pay for the karma of those choices. It's just the way that the law of karma works, cause and effect, guys. But yeah, I can see as well, that was just a deflecting type of situation for you guys, to not really take responsibility for some of the baggage that you've brought to these situations. I can also see that there's definitely some lack of closure as far as you not being able to see the long-term vision with your tendency to be a little bit disorganized. It's actually caused a lot of financial disruptions for you as well. It's almost like you're trying to juggle so much that you actually weren't able to get the kind of finances that you needed in alignment because you weren't focused on the long-term vision. You were really more or less focused on, making short-term money basically, and in the long run that just didn't work for you. And now you're at the place where you're really sort of, I guess, picking yourself up from that. Let's see what crosses my air tribe, spirit. What crosses my air tribe for this Pisces new moon? Okay, you guys are at a couple of places with this. Okay. So for the most part, my apologies. So you guys are getting some clarity. You guys are definitely at that place where, as far as your career situations, for the most part, you're becoming a little bit more organized. You're becoming a little bit more pragmatic about the situation. You're definitely seeking your own independence as far as your career situations, and you're moving and navigating through the process from a place of really knowing the gifts and skills that you have within, what you bring to the table, how you're going to really sort of navigate through the process, and you're really utilizing the courage that you have to finally sort of see your strengths rather than focusing on your weaknesses. And you're utilizing faith. You're utilizing faith to be able to navigate through the process, and you're really becoming at this point quite resilient. And that's why you're so focused on your goals. You're focused on your goals career wise, and you are making sure that you're leaving all the BS behind you in the process. There's a complete disregard for consequences. You're no longer sort of sitting in the space where you are so busy feeling sorry for yourself. You're more at the point where, yes, there are scattered thoughts as far as, where do I go next? But for the most part, you are going to be working towards making sure that you're in a great place career wise. You're no longer going to be fueling your energy into taking on other people's burdens and baggage and crosses. Like, you're really at this place where you're just really looking at what was blocking your way, what was blocking your path. Really, that's what I see. You're looking at how you were actually blocking some of your opportunities from coming into manifestation because of self-doubt, because of not being disciplined enough to actually follow through with the things that you needed to do to take control of the situation so that you can become self-sufficient. And you're now at that place where you're actually ready to just, I guess, be in control of the things that were affecting you emotionally and mentally. Let's have a little look. What's in the recent past for my air tribe, spirit? What's in the recent past for my air tribe as clearly as you can? Okay, so for you guys in the recent past, we do have you guys taking on a lot of burdens. Like I said, you guys are taking on a lot of burdens, taking on a lot of stress, be it in the workplace or in the home situations. It just feels as though you were really just taking on a lot of hard work, a lot of heavy duty stuff. And now it's almost like your spirit had to go through that. Your spirit had to go through that to be able to come to the realization that it needs to be a little bit more free. And you're now at the point where you're ready to take on new types of work. You're now at the point where you're ready to, take on work of your internal structure. You're now ready and willing to take on the work that you need to process within, the spiritual work. That's what you're really sort of taking on at the minute. You're getting control of that. You're making sure that you're a little bit more secure within that. You're really sort of getting some self-discipline of that free spirit that was really taking on a lot of hard work, a lot of stress, and a lot of burdens, and you're actually now going to be utilizing that situation where you were enthusiastic about taking on other people's shit, basically, because you wanted to be their hero. Now you're choosing to be your superhero in your own story, by allowing for yourself to be disciplined enough to walk away from the things that aren't serving for you, from the relationships that aren't serving for you, from the patterns that aren't serving for you, or just learning how to say no in general. And this was a very slow process for you. You know, this was a very slow process because you were just so willing to basically be the hero for everybody else and leave yourself out in the cold in the process. Now you're actually walking away from abusive situations, and that's a good place to be. Let's have a look. What's in the near future for my air tribe spirit? What is in the near future for my air tribe? Okay. Oh, there's a couple of things going on for you guys. So for the most part, you guys are at the point where it's almost like there is a real turning point for you guys. Before, it's like you weren't able to move on from a lot of the situations that happened because there was a lot of sentimental value to these people, places, and things. And now you're at the place where you're really sort of laying down some groundwork. You're really sort of, how can I put it? You're really being you're realizing that you shall persevere regardless, basically. There's been a lot of challenges along the way, and because you endured so much within these relationships with these people, it did make you feel as though you were a little bit resistant to the changes that were coming into the space, which doesn't necessarily mean that you were going to lose them. It simply means that you are going to have the opportunity to have a different kind of relationship with some of these people. But you weren't sure how things were going to pan out, so you were really trying to fight the change and transition in the process. But look, you know, it's not a positive, it's not a negative shift for you guys. It's clearly a positive one. It's clearly a turning point of good karma, and you really sort of fulfilling some life cycles and really tapping into the destiny of change, you know. And with that situation as well, you're walking away, you know, you're walking away from anything that isn't going to be allowing you to say thank you as well. It feels as though people that were taking and taking and taking from you are finally going to be bringing things to the table, bringing offerings to you for you to be able to get to that place of gratitude, for you to be able to get to that place of feeling like, do you know what, all the hard work and effort that I put into you was actually worth it. And I'm glad that I'm finally starting to see the benefits of it pay off. For the most part as well, it does sort of feel as though there will be a lot of isolation for some of you guys, because you are going to be learning how to become a little bit more self-sufficient during the process of this. So it does mean that you're going to be going within to be able to really determine what it is that is going to take for you to be able to become self-sufficient. Some of you are worrying about, you know, whether or not you are going to be able to get to a place where you can just luxuriate rather than constantly having to think about your next paycheck. Some of you are at the point as well where you are really sort of acknowledging the losses that you made in those situations as well with other people where they didn't quite meet your expectations, but you're grateful for that because they showed themselves, they showed their asses, and you now have a decision to make whether or not you're going to stick to those situations, whether or not you're really going to commit to it, or whether you're going to move the hell on. And the great thing about this Mercury retrograde is that it's supporting you in being able to do so through this Pisces new moon, because you get to see all of the ways that things weren't necessarily working in your favor in that regards, and you get to make decisions on that. What I do also want to say as well is that you will be able to get to that point where it feels like you have done so much and you actually really do deserve all the blessings that does show up for you, because you're getting mental clarity over the challenges that were affecting and impacting your space of creating some selfishness, again, be it from you or the other party, because somebody was just really inflexible. You know, they were just really needing to have excessive control of everything that was going on, to the point where they became emotionally manipulative. And you are really sort of moving away from those types of patterns. You're moving away from those types of behavior. And it's a really great place for you to be, I guess, going forward after this Pisces new moon. Let's have a little look for you and see what's going on in looking at it as well. I want to say this to you guys as well. You are going to be going through a couple of major arcanas in your near future for this Pisces new moon. So do be mindful that these are like major life transitions and major life changes. You've got the Death card in reverse and you've got the Wheel of Fortune upright. Like that's all about transformation. That is absolutely all about you know, for you not wanting to move on from certain people, giving you the opportunity to actually move on from certain negative patterns with these interactions with these people. So that's a really great place to be. Okay, let's have a little look and see what's going on in the subconscious mind. What's in the subconscious for my air tribe spirit? What is going on in the subconscious mind of my air tribe? As clearly as you can. Okay, there we go. So there is now, you guys, let's have a little look for you guys. So we've got the Eight of Cups and the Judgment card, both of them upright. This is basically telling me that for a lot of you guys, there has been, you know, some withdrawal from certain situations because your inner self is calling you to take a step back. And you are really looking at the situation overall, and you're really sort of, those disappointments, you're no longer crying about it. You know, you're not crying over spilt milk at this point. You're really sort of finding the maturity within yourself to be able to move forward with the situation because it was blocking you creatively. And those disappointments, you're really going to make a judgment on whether or not you are going to give to these situations that have left you completely burnt out romantically. That's what I'm seeing. For the romance side of things, it's completely left you burnt out, because it's left you having a lot of self-doubt. It's left you at the point where you haven't necessarily put yourself first. You've been putting the other party before yourself in a lot of different ways. So it's really a case of going back and addressing some self-love with this situation as well. And that's what your subconscious mind is asking for you to do. Really allow for that inner calling to lead the way as you navigate through the emotional processing of how these disappointments have shown up in the relationship. You know, they haven't necessarily met your expectations, and your soul is at that point where it's just like, do you know what, I'm blocking you off even giving any more of yourself to this situation until you can actually really address this head on and decide whether or not this person is worth any more of your time. You know, once you decide to commit or walk away, either way, because it could be like the disappointment or it could be walking away. This is always going to be up to you guys depending on how you navigate through the situation. I want to say this as well for those that are dealing with, you know, complicated romantic situations. This is going to be based on how the other person shows up and take accountability for the part that they play in the breakdown of you guys' situation as well. So do bear that in mind. But this does require a very open line of communication for both parties to be able to actually voice what it is that you both need to be able to give the relationship an opportunity to go through a rebirth. Okay. So yeah, let's have a little look and see what's in the conscious mind for you guys. What is in the conscious mind for my, okay, you guys are at that place where you're becoming a little bit more self-disciplined. You guys are becoming more self-disciplined about your blocked creativity. You are actually taking control of the situation. And for some of you guys that were in third-party situations as well, you are now at that place where you are deciding that you are in control of the situation. Basically, you are going to decide whether or not this situation, this third party situation, is going to continue to allow you to feed yourself to the demon of insecurity, or whether or not you are going to actually, if you decide to continue to be with this person, they are going to have to earn your trust. okay? And that's just all it comes down to. And you're actually going to be actively navigating through that process with the person. You're the one that's going to be controlling the outlines of that situation. You'll be addressing that this is what I need from you to be able to navigate from where we are now to where we are trying to get to, if you see a future with this person. For those of you that are dealing with, you know, some stifled creativity, it's almost like you can't be your complete self in situations because there's people around you. I want to say that there's family situations around you that's stifling your growth as well. You are now becoming self-disciplined enough to, you know, remove yourself from those situations as and when you need to, remove yourself from those people as and when you need to, take a step back so that you can really address some of the things that you want to do for yourself creatively, so that you can start to vocalize, so that you can start to manifest your creative desires. Because for some of you, I can see that artistry is one of your crafts, and you've been blocking yourself from that because things haven't necessarily been the way that you have ideally intended for them to be, as far as your family ships and friendships. Okay, and because of that, it's really sort of affected your community. It's been quite challenging within your community, within your home situations, and now you are gaining control of it enough to say that you're not going to invest your energy where it's feeding negativity. You're more at the place where you're going to be, I guess, operating from the love-based vibration as opposed to the fear-based vibration that the people around you have been navigating through the process from. And I guess they really wanted to address that. This is something that was very crucial for your processing throughout this new moon, this Pisces new moon season, because it's really giving you the opportunity to tap into the abundance that's already present around you. All you needed to do is take control, and that's what they're giving you the opportunity to do. Become more self-disciplined and tap into your power so that you can create from that place of abundance, which is the vibration of love. Okay, let's have a look and see what's going on in the atmosphere for you guys. What is in the atmosphere for my fire tribe spirit? What is in the atmosphere for my fire tribe? As clearly as you can. Okay. Okay, so in the atmosphere for you guys, I can see that there's been a lot of frustrations about the delays with the situation. There may be some hasty decisions, so definitely be careful about making quick decisions about situations, because your energy is a little bit all over the place. Okay, and those decisions do have long-term consequences, some of them. Okay. For the most part, I can see that there has been some missed opportunities for you in the past, and instead of, you know, sitting and looking and wallowing, you're actually taking this as an opportunity to really create something new. It's actually giving you the opportunity to start something completely different, beyond your ability to be confused about the prospects, beyond your indecisiveness, you know. The missed opportunities, and I want to say this goes back to the romantic side of things. The missed opportunities with the individual that you're dealing with romantically, now you guys have an opportunity to actually create something new, but you're indecisive about it. You know, you don't want to give your all to the situation because, like I said, this person still has to earn back your trust. And that's completely fair, but at the same time, you know, the delays of the relationship, you know, going in the course that you wanted it to, is becoming frustrating for you as far as the atmosphere around you. And for those of you that are dealing with stifled creativity within your home as well, you are at that point where you're also tapping into your potential in the situation, and you're really giving yourself the opportunity to create something completely new, but you are also quite indecisive about what path to take with the situation. The best thing that I can say is to process the blocked emotions, because that's what's affecting your ability to see clearly with the situation. Process the blocked emotions that you may still be holding for these people within your home situation, so that you can really actually just call it a truce and move forward for yourself from an internal place. Okay, because it's going to continue to affect your situation. Yeah, there's gonna be a real need for forgiveness. You have to kind of accept the circumstances that have basically transpired as of late, and you kind of have to just decide to move on from the situation, because you know there is a lot of scattered thoughts, and sometimes people made decisions where they weren't completely taking any regards for your feelings, and they were just being completely selfish in the situation. And sometimes that's just kind of what happens when you're dealing with imperfect humans, and you're really going to have to be dealing with the fact that there was some dishonesty with these situations as well, that have really left you at that place where you're just like not having faith about the situation 110%, because of these delays. Don't allow the delays to override the intent. That's what I'd say to you, because the delay is inevitable. What Spirit's trying to say to you is that what you intend, you are not vibrating on that frequency right now. And what first needs to happen is that change needs to happen internally, so that that vibration that you seek as far as the experience externally, that will come to you once you are vibrating in alignment with that frequency. Okay. And that's pretty much what the atmosphere is really calling for you to do. Just process the emotional blockages is what I'd recommend, so that you can actually get to that place that you're trying to within your relationships. Okay. Let's see, what is in the attitude for my air tribe? What is in the attitude for my air tribe, Spirit? My tea's gone cold, guys, and my throat's drying out. What's in the attitude for my air tribe is clearly okay. So in the attitude for you guys, there's still a lack of closure. There's a lack of closure because there's been some poor planning, and that poor planning has really given you an opportunity to gain some emotional control, to really give you some emotional balance with the situation. You know, you haven't necessarily completed the cycle of being disciplined enough to follow through with your plans, but you're finally at that place where you are emotionally mature enough to be able to say, do you know what? Maybe I had a part to play in the breakdown of this situation romantically, because I can see that you're excessively burnt out. And this may be you or the other party as well, but somebody is burnt out by the lack of progress with the situation. And it is causing a lot of restlessness, you know. And for the most part, this is just an opportunity for you to navigate through the shadows and become more practical. And that's where you'll be able to see a shift going forward, because that's what this Wheel of Fortune upright was all about. Now that you've decided to continue to, I guess, be with this person, you guys are going to have to navigate through the shadows that have been casted over your experience of each other. And bear in mind that they're dealing with a lot of their own inner child trauma as well, so their baggage is being brought to the table as well, and it's a case of you guys working through the baggage together. If you're going to actually decide to be with this person, you can't just continue to point a finger at their flaws, because they're human. You knew that they had some shit when they came into the space, and I guess they weren't completely honest about everything that they were carrying, and all of the ways in which they had disappointed you, presumably because they were trying to protect and safeguard the relationship, and in doing so, lied about some of the things or withheld information from you. And now you're at the point where, you know, there's still some emotional feelings, there's still some emotional attachment with the situation, which is why there's a lot of indecision, indecisiveness with the how can I put it, with the overall outcome of the situation. It's still going to be some back and forth for a while, because it's almost like you still can't get into your mind how the situation is, I guess, transpired in the way that it had. How could this person have broken my heart the way that they have? I thought that we had a stronger connection than that. You're asking all the wrong questions. These questions that you're asking makes their actions your responsibility, and that's not the situation. You know, they need to be completely accountable for their decisions and the choices that they chose to make from their broken place within, and by you giving back to them what is rightfully theirs, which is their actions, responsibility for their actions, all you can take accountability for is what is within you, what pattern is within your subconscious mind causing these types of patterns to play out in your existence. Okay, so just navigate through the process and know that once you get to that place of becoming more practical about navigating through the shadows, you'll actually be able to complete this cycle. And that's what the universe is actually asking of you. Okay. What is in the hopes and fears for my air tribe? Okay. Hopes and fears, guys. We've got a lot going on for you guys. Hopes and fears. You have, okay, so the hope is that you'll be able to be victorious about, you know, your inflexibility, your ability to be like excessively controlling with the people that you are codependent on. The hope and fear is that they will no longer be selfish, you know, and you will no longer have to, I guess, be so guarded with letting yourself be in the situation. How can I put it? You want to be selfish enough to let them back in, basically. This is the hopes and fear that I see. You're tempted to let them back in. And it almost at the same time feels as though it would be a wrong decision, or it's like they've casted some sort of illusion into the space where you're questioning the entire relationship. And although they have been selfish, you now want to be selfish enough to be able to say, you know what, regardless of some of the things that have happened, I actually do still have feelings invested into the space, even if my ego isn't happy about the situation. I am at that place where I'm having to be a little bit selfish now. I can't give you everything. I can't give you all of me right now, simply because you weren't responsible with it the first time round, first couple of times, however many times or opportunities you've given this individual. You're now at that point where you're saying, do you know what? I am going to just need to take some time for myself to be able to process all of what we've been through. And I'm going to need your support in me doing so if I'm going to give you an opportunity to even let you back into my heart space. Okay? Yeah, because you're going to be soul searching on the lost opportunities with that situation, and you're going to be avoiding any conflict or tension in the process. For some of you guys, you may just walk away from the situation because you feel as though you need to just choose yourself. And that may be temporary, that may be long term. It really depends on the decisions that you make during this retrograde period as well. Like I said, Mercury retrograde is asking for you to really make a decision once and for all with the situation. Are you going to fully commit, or are you going to walk away from the situation? For those of you that are dealing with circumstances to do with family situations, I do see that you are going to choose yourself, because these individuals still haven't necessarily seen all the ways in which they have affected and impacted your space of creating. And because of that, you know, you're at that place where you're not able to sort of see the long-term vision, but you are open to the process of what's to come, I guess. Let's have a look and see what's the final outcome for you guys, my air tribe. What is the final outcome for my air tribe spirit? Okay. Final outcome for my air tribe is that you guys are going to have some patience. You guys are going to have to really tap into your inner strength. You guys are going to have courage and know that the situation is going to work out for the overall best good. Have some compassion for these people as well. Have some compassion for yourself. Understand and understand that these things and cycles and patterns have shown up because you're finally at that place where you're going to be going through a turning point. You're going through a couple of major arcanas in your near future, and these situations really just kind of showed up to show you how to tame the lion within you, how to tame the beast within yourself, how to tame the shadows and darkness that have been casted over your experience, so that you can really get to that place where disorganization isn't really something that you're struggling with. You know, you're really going to have to learn some self-discipline is what's going to come with this situation, because you are going to be at that place where you are in control over the disorganization, over any financial setbacks. You're really going to be at a place where, you know, you are completely taking no regards for any consequences of other people's feelings, and you're just going based on the things that you've learned about yourself in the situation. Okay, now That was a pretty long one, guys. Let's have a little look and see what is the divine guidance, the message from the universe for this Pisces new moon. What is the divine guidance for this Pisces new moon, Spirit? What is the divine guidance for my air tribe for this Pisces new moon? Okay. The universe is really going to be allowing for you guys to come to the realization that the moment I realign with love, clear direction is presented to me. And it's all about some third eye activation. So like I said, there's definitely going to be some forgiveness happening throughout the process of this Pisces new moon. I am a spirit having a human experience, and I'm here to get closer to love. And sometimes we assume that love is this fairy tale stuff, but when we're talking about fairy tales, we need to come to the realization that it's a tale that we're telling ourselves, and that doesn't necessarily, and isn't in most cases, our actual reality. So love comes in so many different shades, man. Like, love is a vibration that is abundant. Okay, and that brings me to the card that has popped out for you guys. Obstacles are detours in the right direction. Okay, just be mindful of that throughout the process. Just know that spirit is guiding you into the right direction to be able to tap into that unconditional love that is within yourself. Because when we speak about love, we have all these expectations and terms and conditions for the love that we want to give and receive, but love is truly something that is unconditional in itself, in the actual vibration of it, which is why it comes in abundance. Okay, my fearless freedom lights up the world is what you'll come to find by being open to the process. And you will come to realize as well for your own self that true healing occurs when I give myself permission to feel whatever feelings live below the triggers. So you're going to be going deeper into understanding why these disappointments showed up in your experience, so that you can really go through a process of forgiving some of these people and the way that they have, I guess, cause for yourself to react in certain situations. There's a couple of cards that I do actually want to clarify in the hopes and fears. I want to clarify the Empress and the Six of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, I'll just have a little look at that first and foremost. Oh, wow. Okay. So can we just get some clarity on that, Spirit, as far as the hopes and fears? Okay. Okay. So for that situation where, it's a case of you guys getting control of the situation within your partnerships, Spirit is basically showing me that with the hopes and fear, it is all about open communication, and the health of the situation will improve, but it does require you guys taking the appropriate actions to be able to allow for this situation to really play out. And it's all going to be happening on the perfect timing, which means that your angels and guides are still working behind the scenes to, bring certain things to light and manifestation with the situation. So don't make any hasty decisions. Like I said, you don't have all the facts about the situation. You just have the feelings that you feel based on these triggers that have happened as a result of the disappointments within these relationships. These are actually showing you something deeper about yourself and your subconscious programming, so that you can release certain contracts with certain entities of lower vibration. Okay, now let's start with my Geminis on the air tribe, because this reading's getting to almost an hour already and we haven't actually gone into any details for you guys. So what is the divine guidance for my Gemini babies for this Pisces new moon? Okay, this is an opportunity. There will be someone holding a heart for you, or you may be the person allowing for your heart to be open to someone else. It does see that you won't be all tied up in the situation anymore, in the sense where you're completely guarded with your heart chakra, or they're completely guarded with theirs. I feel a lot of vulnerability in this space and people being open to being vulnerable. And this is what's really going to give you guys the opportunity to create something new, to create the happy families that you guys want. And there will no longer be any deceit with the situation. There will no longer be any deception with the situation, because you guys will be at that place where you're acting from a place of honesty, of authenticity. Let's have a little look and see. I can see that your ego is going to have to go through this change for the Pisces new moon. That's for sure. Your ego is going to be getting a new and fresh perspective as far as this relationship, okay? Or relationships, I should say, because it was, again, the ego is going to be going through a breakdown of itself, and you're actually going to be learning how to nurture and process your feelings, as opposed to, you know, allowing for your ego to thrive in the situation. And this is actually going to give you an opportunity to tap into your spirit, really, more so than anything else. And you're going to be getting word of somebody else's love and you know, intentions towards you. And you need to be careful not to allow this to emotionally manipulate you back into the situation. If you're not ready to actually be open going back into the space, don't force the process. You know, allow for yourself to take the time that you need to go through your healing before you actually just say yes, because that will be a false pretense for the other person as well, you know. But I can see as well that this is going to be a situation that's going to take a lot of inner strength on both ends. Okay. Right. that was a bit much. Okay, so for the situation for you guys will be at the point where, you know, your solar plexus is going to be activated. You're really at that place where you are consciously aware of how you're manifesting, and you're no longer wanting to or willing to manifest from that place of hostility. You're actually at that place where you're wanting to really be in alignment with the way that you're manifesting. Really allow for yourself to be completely whole with this person. It does feel as though as well there will be some spiritual victory for you. It does seem as well, you know, by you going through this process of activating your sacral chakra, your third chakra. You can utilize Archangel Chamuel for this as well. He's the Archangel of finding as well. But it really does give you the opportunity to tap into your inner God within, to be able to not be abusive, and or not allow for the abusive torrential sort of situations and circumstances to affect and impact you. And I can see that, again, Spirit's going to give you the opportunity to do something different with the situation, because what you were doing, that wasn't allowing for the abundance that is ever present in the space to be able to be actualized and realized. And now what is going to happen with the situation is that, you know, the throat chakra is going to be activated, and with it being activated, it's no longer speaking from that place of deceit. It's actually going to be speaking about all the ways that you've been deceived throughout the process. You're actually going to be going through your healing process, where you can speak about your feelings, not from your feelings, you know, because then what you don't want to do is project back from the shadows that have been casted over you during your experience of these individuals. What I will say as well is that it's going to give you an opportunity to really be able to manifest as you desire around you as well, both from a masculine and feminine perspective. You're going to be manifesting with your intuition. You're also going to be manifesting in the physical form, by creating the actions and doing the actions to be able to bring these things into light and manifestation. Okay, let's have a little look for my Aquarius babies. What is the divine guidance for Aquarius spirit for this Pisces new moon? What is the divine guidance for Aquarius? Okay, so for you guys are going to be guided to take action in terms of your romantic situation. So these may be some of the people that I was speaking about that will be actually continuing their relationships. And you'll actually be guided to really sort of working your magic and intention over the space, and giving it the time that it needs to be able to brew. You know, that's the main thing that I'm seeing. It's not going to be an instant manifestation. Those are miracles. This is going to be a time sensitive situation, but as long as you are clear about what it is that you are wanting to manifest with this person, it does give you the opportunity to be able to bring something to light. Okay, let's have a little look for you. Okay, the angel of balance. The angel of balance is going to be with you guys throughout the process to be able to create a happy family with this situation, to create from a solid root chakra, which means that your foundational views and perspectives of yourself is where you'll be able to manifest this love from. You know, let's have a little look. What is the divine guidance for my Aquarius for this Pisces new moon? Okay. Okay, for you guys, you've got the Sun card. So it's really a case of being completely honest with yourself about what it is that you're trying to create in the space. It's really a case of you guys nurturing and nourishing yourself in the process and realizing that there's no other alternative. There's nobody else that you want in the situation. But first, you may have to go through the healing process with this person so that you guys can really sort of mend the broken sacral chakras. So the ability to create hasn't necessarily manifested in the way that you guys have both wanted, but there's enough love to be able to make a change in the situation. But both parties have to be clear on what it is that they are trying to create in the space. I do also see that, you know, there is an imbalance with the third eye, because I can see you guys are going to need to call upon Archangel Metatron for assistance in the process of this, because it's going to take some forgiveness for you guys to really be able to navigate into a more cohesive, functional space within this relationship, because the ego is going to challenge this transition for you guys. Okay, right, so I'm going to now pull finally for Team Libra. What is the divine guidance for my Libra spirit? What is the divine guidance for Libra? Okay, so for you guys, you'll be going through some root chakra activation as well. You know, there's been some contracts that have been very, very emotionally tumultuous within your family circumstances, and you're releasing those contracts. You know, you're no longer taking those on board. You see that that's not bringing any value to the table, and instead you're choosing to just activate your root chakra to create in from a place where you're able to be happy with the outcome. You are going to be, you're not resting about it either as well as you manifest the process. You're definitely going to be thinking at least about what it is that you want to be able to create in this space with this person. Okay? Oh, cards are falling all over the place, guys. Let's have a little look. You guys are also going to be going through a process of releasing any hostilities as well. So that's a great place to be with the situation. Okay. Let's have a look. Yeah, you guys are going to be releasing any hostilities with the situation. There's not really going to be very harsh communication. You're really going to be at that place where you're able to truly manifest. But it does seem as though you are going to be releasing those contracts that were really affecting your ability to be able to, I guess, create wholeheartedly. I can see that there's still some indecisiveness about the situation. So I guess the deception for you isn't as easy for you to let go of, or this may be the other party involved. Let's have a little look for you. Okay, so we've got your card. Yeah, you're having some indecisiveness about walking away from the situation. You're not clear as to whether or not, you know, it's going to be worthwhile, because this broken heart for you is something that is very, very much prevalent. You know, this is where you're manifesting from. You're manifesting from your broken heart, and what you need to choose to do is walk away for yourself. I'd say take the time that you need to go through your own healing with the situation, and go within so that you can really make a decision for your own best interest, how you actually want to, you know, show up for this person, or whether or not you even want to. Because like I said, not everybody's going to actually go through, because this is a general reading as well. Not everybody is going to actually take this person back on board. Not everybody is going to, I guess, decide to walk through this person's imperfections and flaws with them. Some people are just going to decide, you know what, this is too much for me, and that's perfectly fine. But if that's how you feel, be honest about that, and don't allow for yourself to continue to be in and out, half in, half out, because I can tell that the indecisiveness is really going to be a factor for you guys throughout the process, and you don't want for that to really start to confuse things overall in the space for everybody involved. Okay, so what we're going to do now, I'm just going to pull a love and light card and read the scripture for you guys, and close out the space there. Okay, what is the divine guidance for my air tribe spirit? What is the divine guidance for my air tribe this Pisces new moon? Become still so you may hear the voice of God, and know that gentleness is the path of peace. Okay, so the card for us today is it's time to be adventurous and play. And by doing so, you will come to realize that patience is its own reward. Okay, and you'll also get clarity on being able to give peace a chance by learning some patience, and it will allow you to move boldly into a golden future by giving it the time that it needs, giving those seeds that you're planting, giving it the right time to be able to come to fruition for you. Okay, so it's time to be adventurous and play. The scripture for that is Song of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 12. The flowers are springing up. The season of singing birds has come, and the cooing of turtle doves fills the air. Now I'm just going to read that, I guess, card for you guys so that you guys can get some further clarity on it. There we go. It's time to play. It's time to be adventurous and play. In the realm of children, anything and everything is possible. Adventures and fun are around every corner. It is time for an adventure. New experiences keep us young and help our minds and bodies stay active. A youthful spirit can be found at any physical age. We're never too old to play. Sometimes having fun is the best way to be responsible. With a childlike sense of freedom, our sense of innocence and fun is renewed. When we give our burdens to God, we feel a new lightness of being. We feel safe, secure, and loved. We find that there's always something to smile about, a blessing in everything, even in our challenges. Pray for playtime, dear one, and lighten your load. Again, that scripture is Song of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 12. The flowers are springing up, the season of singing birds has come, and the cooing of turtle doves fill the air. Okay, so I'm going to leave that with you guys. What I will say is just let God lead the way, and you guys will be surprised at the outcome. The outcome is always victory regardless, as long as you give spirit the opportunity to show you what you're made of, because so far when we try and, I guess, egoically navigate through the process, we fall at the first hurdle of disappointment, and we don't get the opportunity to follow through as much as there is, and sometimes we lose out on the abundance that's actually present in the actual outcome of the situation. Okay, so I'm going to leave that with you guys. I love you guys. I'm sending you guys all of my positive intentions for your personal growth and development throughout this Mercury retrograde season, and I hope that you guys are able to learn something new about yourselves from a positive perspective of the spirit within your vessel. God bless.